So, ladies and gentlemen, this information is very, very related to Nigeria. Okay. So, we just got some information today amid the whole fair and tension going on around the place, the new education that is going on all around the whole place, that people are beginning to get more educated. They're staying vigilant, protecting their sovereignty, most especially the agricultural sovereignty, relatively to the new introduction of the genetically engineered organisms, which they call the GMO. Right? So, according to the information we have, and this is very, very important, okay? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government in Nigeria, according to parallel facts, dismisses global fear and concern. If they say it's global, if they say a particular fear is global, what justification has this man to dismiss it? Insists GMO technology brings a lot of benefits. Recruits influencers, legislators, judiciary, monarchs, pastors, imams to convince Nigerians about the GMO. Ladies and gentlemen, what direction is Nigeria turning into right now? Let's talk about the petrochemical sector. Nigeria is one of the highest oil producing country, having a very large reservoir of oil. But yet, I don't know if the citizens have been able to benefit from these mineral resources in any way or form. Nigeria has about 17 to 18 different states with large gold deposits. None of them even there. No Nigerian citizen can say, that is not in a position of power, can say, I have any knowledge about the metric ton or about the depth or the estimated value of whatever minerals they have. The economic sovereignty is not theirs. So let's even abandon the mineral sovereignty. I think the last thing, the education is not even theirs. Everything a typical Nigerian is being educated is Western. To go to school, depend on the government. That's why you have a lot of graduates that comes out and still say, I don't have a job because the government has not given me a job. The only way you know how very intelligent a Nigerian is when they speak. The value of the English they speak is how you know that they're graduate. That's why you have somebody like Kemi Badenoch saying she no longer wants to identify as a Nigerian. Because the way, and she's cool in Nigeria, right? The way Nigerians are being indoctrinated is like they are being groomed to serve the Western agendas, like the Western, like most Nigerians. Like if you look at it, it's more frivolities fly than any other thing. The important things don't fly. Music, fashion, TV programs that don't make sense. Who are the influencers that we're even talking about? How many of these influencers have positive influence on the citizens of this country? Now, the last thing of sovereignty that Nigeria has, agricultural sovereignty. Now, this agricultural sovereignty that the West is trying to take away from Nigeria has been somehow figured out, perfectly figured out in my own opinion. First of all, there is this so-called thing that you all must have heard on Western media, the mainstream media, that a crisis going on in Nigeria is between the farmers and the herders. There's nothing like farmers and herders. It's like a strategically orchestrated genocide. Deplete a particular population. Why are the farmers being targeted? In Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Niger, who are the people that are involved in terrorism? We all know them. I won't mention them. These are the same people targeting the farmers. Why are they targeting the farmers? Why is it that after almost 70% of organic agricultural development in Nigeria, why is it that after about 70% of them has been, destroyed? Why are we now having the GMO fly more than ever? We all are no morons. We can think for ourselves. So this is a move that has been strategically designed. First of all, break down the farmers. It's like a controlled demolition job. Now you have introduction of the GMOs. You have people planting GMOs in their house. I won't lie to you. Back in the days when I take cornflakes, my bowel movement is so good, the peristalsis and everything. It's my physiology from my abdominal physiology is so perfect. But now when I take cornflakes, oh my goodness, it's as if I've eaten lead. My body cannot digest it. I'm not even a fan of cornflakes anymore, because the corn that is being used to make these things are from GMO. Okay, run from the GMO. Plant everything you want to plant. Animals are being vaccinated. The GMO program, a lot of people think it's about plants. It also goes to animals. And what they inject into these animals carry a lot of mRNA genes. These are genes that don't get destroyed. Cook it, it still gets to your body. The big question is, what is the plan? And now the government is now using every influential channel to pour the ideology of adopting something that takes away your agricultural independence. That means you harvest a certain crop, you can no longer replant. You have to buy. Your food can now be weaponized. If the sellers say we are no longer selling, you are done. It looks like what is going on in Gaza, where food aid can no longer get to the people in Gaza. That means in the future, maybe in the next 30 years, when a lot of people that are dictating the current status quo are no longer here, Nigerians might be struggling to eat. And it's so funny that a lot of Nigerians are being distracted. Why strategically destructive move just keep getting orchestrated all around the place? This is very, very destructive in my own opinion. Now you have cancer cases increasing more than ever. You know, the funny thing about this information is even pastors and imams getting involved. And if you look at the names of people that have been mentioned there allegedly by the parallel facts, saying that recruiting, should a pastor be recruited? Should an imam be recruited? Influencers, legislature, judiciary, monarchs, pastors, imams to convince Nigerians. Let me just tell you something. This is the same tool they employ when it comes to politics. The monarchs, the pastors, the imam, the judiciaries. So, ladies and gentlemen, in my own opinion, I think it's either Nigerians wake up or they will forever be cornered. And I don't want to continue to hear this rhetoric from the so-called Pan-African leaders, like someone that, like PLO Lumumba, that comes out there and say, the day Nigeria wakes up is the day Africa wakes up. Stop that. We don't want to hear it anymore. I'm a Nigerian. I don't think my country will wake up. No, I'm telling you now categorically, we are not waking up. Nigeria is a country of how many million people? The question is, how many Nigerians are moving in the right direction? I was just listening to a live stream of a very influential Ghanaian now. Nigerians, according to him, Nigerians just killed a Uber driver in Ghana. They are now shouting about Nigeria must go in Ghana. They said landlords in Accra, Ghana no longer want to give houses to Nigerians. When it comes to drug in South Africa, he talked about Nigerians, Indonesia, Nigerians. And somebody like PLO Lumumba is still saying, look at the killing in Nigeria. The terrorism in Nigeria is like 2 times that of Burkina Faso. It's just the media propaganda that flies more than each other. They were lying about 50 soldiers that were killed in Burkina Faso. Where are their bodies? Nobody sees them. 200 people were killed in Yellow Water in Benue State. We could see their bodies. But it did not fly because Nigeria is having a free fall, only that they are obeying the Western law of gravity. And there is another country that is defying the law. So, ladies and gentlemen, the GMO is just another step in that controlled demolition of a country called Nigeria. It's actually disappointing. I'm bringing this out to you. I know I'm in no position to convince you. I'm not trying to convince anybody at this point, because it's looking increasingly as if the people are powerless about this, because every direction you turn to is what is available that you will buy. It's GMO. So what would the people do at this point? Nigerians are getting displaced, voluntarily or involuntarily. Voluntarily, they call it jackpot. Involuntarily, where they have to run away from their local settlements. Whew. What do you think, guys? What do you think? To be honest with you, I'm tired. At this point, I'm just tired. It's nothing good to promote. I get videos from Zagazola Makama every day that Nigerians are fighting terrorism from government sources. And you get from civilian sources that soldiers are coming to their houses and burning down their houses. So these are conflicting narratives. What do we believe? And you have a lot of Nigerians that will come and tell you there was a country called Nigeria. I think that narrative is it looks more like what is going on. Yeah, I just hope I can recover from this news I just dropped, because every time I talk about Nigeria, it's as if I've just suffered from anemia. So guys, I'm signing out at this point. I'm not 7200 at this point anymore.